I know the exact moment I became a conscious creative. I was 17, graduated high school, didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, when all of a sudden, life intervened. And thanks to a clerical error, I found myself serving in the Colombian army for 48 hours. And that experience literally burst my bubble. It kind of shook me up, and it was all different after that. I realized I had a sense of purpose and a sense of meaning, and I had a mission in this life. And the mission crystallized as enabling creative projects to come to life. And I didn't know what that meant, but I followed that instinct to film school, where I met my friend who became my business partner, who we started Missing Pieces with. And there we found ourselves in the first year of business at the prestigious TED conference, interviewing some of the most interesting, powerful minds in our planet. And that's where I got the second part of my mission. It wasn't enough to enable creative projects to come to life. It was about enabling creative projects to come to life that can change the world. And that became the guiding light for me at Missing Pieces. And over the years, we've done projects that really embodied this. A great example is Prescribed to Death, where we visualize the faces of the people who have lost their lives to the opioid crisis. And we confront people who are either prone to or in danger of becoming addicted as a kind of intervention. This wall can be requested by any mayor of any city in the country, so it's been traveling ever since. So now what I'm thinking is a bigger idea, a third part of the mission that started with a question. How do we incentivize conscious creators like yourself to create the kinds of stories that bring about better versions of the future? One way to think about this is to create bridges from the old story, which we can call the story of separation. You and I are separate from this world, separate from each other, separate from nature, to the new story, which can be called the story of interbeing or interconnectedness. And the job is to stand in the new story and build bridges to help others cross into this new story. Because the old story ends in nihilism, despair, and fatalism. And that's before we get into existential risk and ecological collapse, which is, by the way, where the old story is heading. So we are in desperate need of new, upgraded stories. We are longing for stories that are not set in dystopia, but in protopian worlds, where we are solving some of our problems and not creating new ones. We are longing for more inclusive, diverse, and just stories that enable us to hear new narratives from unique voices. We are longing for sense-making stories that help us make sense of an ever more complex world. We need stories that go beyond the hero's journey to a collective, shared journey. The solo journey is part of the old story, and we need you to show up fully integrated and ask yourself, is this a story that's going to activate a better future?